Hello everyone, my name is Joe Young. Come to you from josephjyoung.com. Today I simply wanted to share with you a little bit of a story of something that I experienced a few years back, something that led me to write a book that I want to talk to you today about. Some time ago I was in prayer and I was calling upon God and expressing some financial concerns, as many of us do. We do the right thing when we go before God. But this time in prayer, some things had happened to me that were a little bit different than times before. I'm sure you can relate, just asking God for more money, or asking God for a way out of this mess that you're in, or asking God for a way to pay the bills, praying and really just being under the load and being under the pressure of things that, well, everybody deals with in everyday life. But thankfully some of us have had some experiences with God, and we know that we have a throne that we can approach boldly unto, and we can find grace to help us in the time of need. And so with that knowledge, knowing that if we call upon the Lord, He'll hear us and He'll deliver us out of all of our troubles, I went to the Lord in prayer. I went in faith. Even though I was troubled and I was concerned and there were pressing needs, I called upon the Lord. But at this moment in time, it wasn't like previous prayers. God stopped me that day. And as I, spiritually speaking, was holding up my tin cup before the Lord, and I was wagging it in His face, well, He smacked it out of my hand and told me in prayer that I needed to approach Him with a different set of questions. That kind of startled me, because as I began to pray, the Lord used my own tongue to say things that I needed to hear. How many times has that happened to us, right? As we begin to really just open up before the Lord, He just has a way of giving us answers sometimes in ways we didn't expect. Well, my own tongue began to say such things like, God, what am I doing wrong with my finance? And what did I do with the last blessing you gave me? Why did I squander it? What am I not doing right? Show me what I need to know. This alone, in this moment of prayer, began to kind of stop me in my tracks as I began to realize God was speaking to me in the midst of my own desperation. At that hour and at that moment, I had no desire or inspiration to write a book. I was simply there before God, just looking to find some answers, as many as you have as well. And so this moment, again, was a moment of enlightenment for me, because God was stopping me right where I was. Oh, He had blessed my wife and I many a times financially, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. When we were in need, when we were going to be evicted, God came through. When we had this bill and the lights were going to get shut off, God came through. Again, all of us can relate to these things. But this one moment in time, the Lord stopped me and He educated me and He made me aware of who I was. I was somebody that was not good at all with my finances. We're still working on it. It's a work in progress, but we're much better than we were. So there I was, and in this quick moment of prayer, what came to my mind was the fact that I needed to take a look at who I was. I needed to take a look at where I was going. I needed to take a look at what I was doing with my own finance. God was awakening me to get educated. Because one of the things that came to my mind during this moment of prayer is, how can I use you to bless other people if you keep wagging your tin cup in my face? So, again, that's kind of sobering. And God does talk to us that way. Look, part of answering the prayer is not just always giving us as Christians a handout, but it's helping us to be able to give a handout to somebody else. It's helping us to become better than who we are, especially than who we are when who we are is dysfunctional.